Welcome to This Must Be the Place. I'm your host, Allo Gilinsky. Each week, I'll uncover what's happening in Sonoma County, diving into the hidden gems and quirky corners. I'll be interviewing some of our local legends, as well as people you didn't know you need to know, all through the eyes of a craft beer enthusiast living in wine country. Join me as we explore one sip, one story, and one adventure at a time, and together we'll find out why this must be the place. We all know the feeling. Wanting to support our local Main Street shops, but finding ourselves defaulting to the convenience of two-day shipping. It often feels like small businesses just can't compete with the logistics giants. But what if they could? Our guest today is on a mission to level that playing field. Adam Haber is the co-founder and CEO of Trellus, a company pioneering a new kind of delivery service that connects local consumers with local merchants, promising same-day delivery just within a couple hours. Trellus isn't just about speed, it's about recirculating local dollars, creating jobs, and ensuring that our vibrant community here in Sonoma County shops don't just survive, but thrive in the e-commerce era. Today, we're going to dive into how Adam and his team cracked the code on sustainable, rapid, local logistics, the surprising challenges of changing consumer habits, and what the future of shopping locally really looks like. Welcome, Adam.
Allo, thank you for that kind intro. Let me just retweak it a little bit. So we started as a logistics company to build trust with our merchants. We are an e-commerce alternative to Amazon with two parts to our model. You can shop local and buy everything you want. And also, if you're a small business, you can use us for delivery. So we've morphed. The goal is to get you shopping at the small independent stores you know and love, and forget about Amazon because they take tax revenue out of your community. And we have over 50 merchants already in Sonoma County, another 100 in the queue. You can literally click buy and have something delivered today as long as you get your order in by 4 o'clock. And it's everything except hot food. And we also do delivery if you need it using our own tech, either 1 up to 49 stops. And it's a unique model that works.
Well, there's plenty of other businesses out there doing the hot food model, so you got to stick with what works for you. I've been on the app. I've been on the website. It's such a cool service to see coming to Sonoma County. As someone who grew up here and as someone who's still living here and can't often find things that I want kind of with the speed that I would like them. And, you know, having Copperfields, having Cuver Brewing, some of these businesses that I love to support and have frequented in person, it just adds another level of excitement and layer of accessibility onto those. So thank you.
My pleasure. Corix stationery store in Santa Rosa, Jewish bakery or deli if you want your hot bagels Sunday morning. It's no hot food, even though the bagels will be hot. It's anything except restaurants, and that's the goal. We're not DoorDash. We're an alternative to Amazon, so you can literally shop local and get free delivery to your doorstep in an average of about 2 hours.
And I know as somebody who might have roots in, or at least the company has roots in New York, you're all about your hot bagels, but we'll dig into that in a little bit here. We always like to start at the very beginning. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience as an entrepreneur and what was your journey that led to co-founding Trellus?
So I only know how to do risky ventures where I have to work 70 hours a week. I don't like pay by the hour jobs. It just doesn't work for me. And I'm good at failing and then learning how to succeed in the future. So I was commuting to the city, meaning New York City. I know by you guys it's San Francisco. I was commuting to the city, 3 hours round trip. And inevitably on the way home, my wife would say, hey, can you pick up a toy? Your daughter's got a birthday party. Can you get a bottle of wine? Can you get shin guards from the sporting goods store? There's a soccer game. And I'm like, no. But I thought that. I didn't say it out loud because my wife would have kicked my butt. And I said, I wish there was a way to shop at the stores I know and love and get things quickly. And I did a lot of homework and it didn't exist. And the idea started from that. And then I actually tried to run for office 3 times. I lost 3 times, which is great. If you come in second, you're an Olympian, you get a silver medal. If you're a politician, you lose. But every politician that I ever saw said shop local, support local stores. But consumers will shop if there's value. It's either price or time. Many of the products on Trellus are the same prices you'd find online, but time is the big component. You're running late. You got to get something that you need. You can't go out. You have to stay home. You're working late. There's no other marketplace like Trellus in America, and it works.
Well, why don't you tell our listeners about Trellus, its mission, and how it's expanding into the North Bay / Sonoma County?
Well, thank you for that. I'm a Long Island guy. I know I don't sound like it. I love where I live, and I got tired of seeing empty strip malls and local businesses going out, and every politician giving tax breaks. There's 10 to Amazon. There's 10 million square foot warehouses, and you can't compete with that kind of volume. And I figured the way we compete is by time. I had interviewed hundreds of merchants before I took the plunge, and they needed the ability to get their products to customers quickly, but more importantly, they needed to be delivered to orders at an affordable price point. And it works. We have over 150 merchants that use us for the marketplace here. We have over 800 businesses that use us for logistics. And then I was traveling the country raising capital, and Sonoma County is Trellus heaven. Healdsburg doesn't allow chains. We don't allow chains on our platform either. No big box stores, no Home Depots, no CVS, no Best Buy. You have to be a small independent store, and you only compete by distance. So if you live in Petaluma, the stores closest to you come up first. If you live in Santa Rosa or Sebastopol, those stores come up first. So you're competing not by who's paying the biggest ad dollars. You're just being discovered either hyper locally, or if people want to sift through what we have and expand our area. And as we expand into the North Bay, we already have 53 or 4 merchants on the platform. Many of them, another 100 in the pipeline, but we'll do delivery for free because we're building the business out there anywhere in the North Bay. So if you live in Marin, you live in Sonoma, you want something same day, or you want it in the future, you can literally schedule it for a future delivery. It could be beer or wine or jewelry or clothing or toys or pet food or whatever. No hot food, no restaurants, but that's the model. It works, and there's nobody in America doing it because it's hard to win over the small business owner.
I'm sure it's a hard business to scale up as well. And it sounds like you're also creating jobs and building kind of this workforce to be these delivery agents. So that must be something you're giving back to the community as well.
We have 23 full-time employees. 3 of them, we have 3 staff members on the ground who sell for us in Sonoma County. We've got, well over 100 drivers in our network. The gig drivers are paid 80% of the delivery fee. It's the highest in the country.
Wow.
We didn't go into this to be a delivery company. It's a commodity item. But our drivers we cherry pick the best and the brightest, and background checks and DMV checks. You have to get a training program to be on our platform. But the drivers love it because there's no hot food. You can only do 1 delivery at a time. And if you get stiffed on a tip, you're really working for free. And there's no obnoxious New Yorkers in your back seat. So you have to deal with somebody telling you where to go and what exit to take. So they love it. It's a gig work. Some people do it full time. It's exciting to create something from nothing and see it work.
Obnoxious New Yorkers, never met one in my life. Don't know what you're talking about here.
There you go.
But as somebody kind of with this, big country New York sensibility, how did you get interested in this idea of localized e-commerce? Was there a core problem you saw in the market that really made you passionate about the mission to support local commerce?
The idea, that's a great question. Thank you. The idea for Trellus, and it's spelled Trellus.
So not something you climb, but something you get delivered.
Yeah, it's good to know that. Why Trellus is the website. And the way I had the idea, first of all, was I was driving my son to college. He went to Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, much smarter than I was as a kid. And he was excited about going to school, and I like looking around what's here, would I like to live here? And there was a Target, a Walmart, a Best Buy, a Dollar Store, and a Wendy's. And then 5 miles later, there was a Target, a Walmart, a Best Buy, a Dollar Store, and a Wendy's. And it kept repeating, and there wasn't
like Groundhog Day.
It was one of my favorite movies, by the way. Great reference. There wasn't a Jewish deli or a Cork Stationery or a Montpelier Winery or a local florist that there's a lot of them on our platform. And that's what makes a community vibrant. And I was thinking, God, you give me a house here and I wouldn't live here because it's sterile. There's nothing unique about it. And, hopefully when we expand to Winston-Salem one day, they don't bring this up from, my conversation with you. But the reality is I like small independent businesses. I like vibrant downtowns. It keeps tax revenue local. It keeps communities strong, helps home values. And after my research and my experience when I was commuting to New York, this is an amazing model. And be careful what you wish for, because 4.5 years later, here I am with a little less hair and loving the process, but it's a lot of work because you're winning over small independent businesses one at a time, but they're very sticky because they hate Amazon. They hate Walmart. They love our mission that they're not competing on who could pay the most for a keyword. They get a free website, basically, to get a link to their platform. So half of our merchants don't even have a digital presence. And we built something from feedback that we think is special.
And what made you choose Sonoma County specifically as one of those first regions to expand into?
Everybody's like, why Sonoma County? You're an outsider. And I had an interview with the Bohemian, which is an alternative paper, which asked those exact questions that exact way. And I said, look, I'm going to have to earn your trust, but you live in Trellus heaven. Healdsburg doesn't allow independent. It doesn't allow chain stores. They only allow small businesses. They are very, very honest and sincere. Like they prefer shopping local. They don't want to go into Home Depot or Amazon or Walmart and have their tax dollars leave. And when I spoke to the mayor of Santa Rosa, he's like, this is amazing because the way tax revenue works here is you have to have a physical presence to collect, and Amazon's warehouses are outside of Sonoma County. So they're losing tax revenue. So after researching where we'd expand to, we want to be 2-day ground from all of America when we add national delivery. Sonoma was an easy choice because number one, it's beautiful. I've been there 4 times in the last 9 months. And number two is they have an incredible selection of unique artisans, boutiques, and specialty shops that fit our platform.
I mean, having grown up in Sebastopol and spent a lot of time in Sonoma County, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's, a no chain downtown kind of chain of command in Sebastopol, Healdsburg the same. It's really great to see these vibrant shops thriving and surviving, and you being able to offer a different way for them to get their product and also the awareness out to customers who may have never ventured into these towns but had been able to browse your app and said, oh, this intrigues me. Maybe I'll make a purchase with Trellus, and then, oh, maybe next time I'll actually go into the shop or explore the main street of that town. So that's also kind of a new kind of two-way avenue to look at it.
It's funny you say that because I live on Long Island, and it really is a long island. It's 100 miles long by 15 miles wide. And if you think about it, you really only go with it about a couple miles where you live. Those are the stores you go to. And then as I was growing the business, I live in Roslyn, East Hills, and 3 miles, 4 miles away is Rockville Center, another thriving community. And 12 miles away is Huntington, another thriving community. I don't know what store. I'm like, oh my God, these are great stores. Imagine if I could shop here. And that kind of got my mind thinking, wow, if I knew all these independent stores had all these products that I'd want, I'd love to support them if there was a way to do it. And that was part of the genesis of me thinking we really got something here if we can make this work. So that's kind of the thought process I went through.
And that brings up an interesting point to me, the inventory side of it. I've worked in e-commerce in the alcohol industry before, and I know inventory is the bane of every owner, small business owner, and also kind of e-commerce platform's existence. So how does the inventory work? Is it up to the business to make sure everything's uploaded? Does Trellis play a part in that?
Well, the uploading, we have 12 people in a little tiny room without windows who put in the products all day long. No, we have 12 people who work with us and love helping the merchants. Ideally, it's best if the merchant does the product and description themselves. We check to make sure they're accurate and correct. Half of our products are consumables. Like a farm might have corn, and they rarely run out of corn. Or a wine shop will have Kettle One. They rarely run out of Kettle One. Vodka or Cuver Belgian Brewers, who's one of our merchants in Sonoma. They're in Windsor, a great Belgian brewery. They don't run out of product. But for the local store owners, like the clothing shops and the pet shops, the jewelry stores, they have to upgrade their inventory. We will sync with other platforms. That's part of the dev we're doing. The dev work, meaning the tech guys who build this out. But the beauty of our model, we got this feedback, is Mrs. Jones calls you and wants an extra large green sweatshirt. You buy it on Trellus. You get a text that says, congratulations, you just ordered on Trellus. The merchant will let you know when they accept the order. Instead of saying you get it and then getting an email 3 days later, oh, we're out, the merchant then can call you directly, say, Mrs. Jones, we don't have that extra large sweatshirt in the color you want. Would you prefer yellow instead? Or we can refund your money. And now that business has a personal connection with the consumer, and the consumers love that. I mean, it rarely happens because people really do keep up their inventory for the most part. But yeah, if you run out of an item and you forget to put out of stock, that's the way we have around that. So nothing's perfect, but we think that's a great way to keep it personal and connect with your purchasers.
And in terms of user experience, let's switch gears a little bit to the technology side of it. How does the Trellis Marketplace experience differ for a user compared to shopping on a large platform like an Amazon, like a Target.com? What unique value do you offer to both consumers and merchants?
When you say Amazon and Target.com, those are like dirty words. You're like cursing at. Well, let me give you an example. My son has a pet products company. He loves small pets. He created a really unique, cool product. He sells on Amazon. By the time he's done with his commissions, his delivery fees, his storage fees, and his ad spend, on $1, he keeps maybe 7 cents. It's not viable. What we have with our merchants is we take 10% of the order, and it's all hyper local. So, Allo, what town do you live in, if you don't mind me asking? So in Sebastopol, the merchants in Sebastopol will come up first. If you put in flowers, you're going to get florists that are closest to you. You're not going to get
Cool.
them in Petaluma or in Santa Rosa. But if you want to scroll out and want to look for other products, you can. So we do have places to advertise, but it's not the Hunger Games for who plays the most and cuts your margins. It's hyper-local geofence. So you're going to see the merchants closest to you. And if you want to buy from somebody else, you can keep scrolling further out. And that's how we solve that problem to
That's
keep
really
it
cool.
affordable for merchants. Yeah. Yeah. So it keeps up. We don't have inventory. Our inventory is the store's inventory. So we keep
Right.
our prices down, and 10% of the sale is a healthy margin at scale for sure.
Now, you've mentioned creating a new genre in on-demand delivery, fitting in somewhere between food in 2 minutes and UPS in 2 days. Can you elaborate on what this segment is and how Trellis fills that gap?
So we started as a logistics company because that was the easiest way to win over very skittish small business owners who don't like change and who hate technology. And that's more than half, believe it or not. We asked what you needed, and they needed the ability to deliver affordably. And we didn't want to be in the logistics business, but that's a value that they wanted. And we priced it so we could break even at scale on that. So when you place an order on Trellus, or a merchant puts in their own delivery separately, we're a same day service. Our average delivery time is 90 minutes. In Sonoma County, it will probably be about 2 hours because it's bigger than more condensed and more populated than in New York. In New York, than it is in Sonoma County. But you could also put in a route for Saturday at 9 a.m. Pickup to do 40 stops, and we only charge that last stop from point A to point B to point B to C. So the last stop is as little as $6.99. So we're not 10-minute pizza delivery. You're going to be severely disappointed if you buy an extra large sweatshirt in blue and expect it in 10 minutes. But we are same day and routed also. So if you wanted it to have it by 3 o'clock, as long as you put the order in by 12, there's a 98% chance it'll show up on time, and you'll get text along the way where we are. So we're same day, meaning 1 to 4 hours is our sweet spot. And you don't really need a pair of shin guards in 10 minutes for your kid's soccer game.
Right.
As long as you put the order in at 3 o'clock and the game's at 6 or 7.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense. And as you were saying, you do both same day delivery. And how did you design the systems and logistics to achieve such rapid and reliable service?
So we have our own in-house dev team. And my co-founder, Jared Jensen, and Brian Berkery, one's front and back end developer, Jared Jensen, and Brian Berkery's marketing. And we got together and we created the platform from feedback from our merchants. We started a very basic, put in a delivery, get it done, and then the merchants would say, "Hey, we need this feature," which it could have been batching, it could have been signature capability, it could have been scanning a license, which you need for alcohol in New York. And from the feedback from our merchants, we built out the tech side of the logistics platform, which is amazing. We have over 800 businesses that use us on Long Island and in Sonoma County. And we have over 200 that use us for our marketplace, which is why we built the business. We want you to shop locally. Sonoma's got 53. I believe New York has got about 150. There's another 100 merchants in the queue in Sonoma County. It just takes time to onboard. So if a merchant's capable of doing it themselves, which they can if they're remotely tech savvy, they don't need us. They could literally sign up, onboard, and start selling within 48 hours.
That's fantastic. You make it really easy.
Well, you make it easy, but think about, and I'm going to stereotype here, so please don't get mad at me. Think about a 72-year-old ponytailed business owner who's sold toys since 1975 the same way, has got an AOL and never had a website. Right. That guy or gal is not going to, well, I guess he could be a gal and have a ponytail. I'm thinking like a balding ponytail guy. That guy or gal is not going to be able to do what I just shared. If you get a 38-year-old millennial who is running a really cool clothing store, they'll bang it out really quickly. And that's the holy grail, to get people to do it themselves. But we want to make sure we don't leave anybody out. Half of our merchants don't even have a website. We give them a link that allows them to only host their products to share through social media or their email list. So we're giving them the tools they need to compete at a very affordable price point.
Well, that's great. I mean, you're really encouraging the shop local mentality. And in saying that, these e-commerce giants, the dirty words of this conversation, they've established such strong consumer habits. What strategies is Trellus using to encourage residents to shop local first? Is there marketing campaign? What's your message out there?
Oh, you could spend unlimited dollars on marketing. We've partnered in Sonoma County with Go Local Sonoma County. They're a well-known 400-person strong chamber. We do radio. I just did a radio show on 91.3. I did Wine Country Radio. We do social media. We do texting. We do direct mail. And still, I would guess that 3 to 5% of Sonoma County knows who we are. You really got to saturate the market with just know-how, and it takes time and money. We are raising a Series A, so if any of your listeners have $5 million jangling around in their pockets, please give me a call, Adam at buytrellis.com. But we're spending a healthy amount of money on development and marketing to create awareness, because once you find out about Trellus, you're going to go there first if you really do care about shopping local.
And with any small business, it always does take time to scale. As you know, we were talking before this initial conversation about being a small business owner, and these things take time and awareness. And those are two things that we're most, that we need the most when we need patience, I guess.
That's why I'm on this show. I mean, you're generous enough to have me come on and share what I truly believe in with every fiber of my body. Trellus is a network in a garden that connects things. It's Trellis. We put it in as US because we connect consumers with merchants. We connect merchants with each other so they can sell together. We help connect the community. So bytrellis.com, Trellus. If you put in BUY, we also have that too, but
okay.
It's shorter. But the purpose is to keep things in your community, your tax dollars local, stronger community, stronger downtown. And it's really exciting and really invigorating to see this go from literally an idea to having almost 1,000 merchants work with us.
And I also get the sense you're not looking to be this traffic gumming up, shuttle service where you have people who are buying things and merchants double parked outside the main streets of these organizations. You're not looking to grow to that extent in these towns, from what I'm understanding, but you're looking to just provide a really solid network.
You're not going to see an Amazon truck with 300 packages in there selling, double parked, blocking your spot and delivering commodities to your doorstep. We're point to point. So we'll pick up a bottle of wine from Montpremier Winery in Healdsburg, or get you cool stationery from Corix, or bagels from Drewish, or flowers from any one of our number of florists, and go point to point. So we're most likely picking up from a merchant, going to your home or business, but we also have curbside. If you just want to, if you're running quickly and you want to, you forgot that birthday party gift or bottle of wine you need, we try to make it as easy as possible. And it really keeps it local and keeps the traffic and distance travel for these merchants down. You're not sending your products through UPS to a warehouse in Tennessee back to Petaluma when you're shipping from Healdsburg. It's literally going from Healdsburg to Petaluma. Right. And along the way, the driver will pick up other products, and we have routers to keep the cost down. Our tech keeps the amount of miles driven down dramatically.
So Sonoma County is so big on community. How does Trellus actively measure and maximize its positive impact on local jobs, sales, and community ties?
Well, we have partnerships with Go Local, our first major business that joined us, and we don't allow chains, but Copperfield Books is about 7 or 8 locations, about as big as we'll go. They were all in from the beginning. And maximizing those relationships and having them tell their friends who then tell their friends and so on. Good news travels fast. Bad news travels faster. That's why we're very big on the experience and handling customer complaints if there are some. Our delivery process is as seamless and easy and communicative as possible. It's magical when you buy something and it shows up 2 hours later at your doorstep. I just love it. So it's really, I don't want to say 1,000 paper cuts because that's kind of painful. It's 1,000 steps to get to building trust and a network and community buy-in, and we're well on our way to doing that.
Well, that's great. And being the holiday season, we're in December here. There are people out there maybe looking for some part-time work. There's also people out there who are looking to shop till they drop and be able to have things delivered at their convenience. So a little bit two-part question here. How do merchants sign up to work with Trellus? And conversely, how do consumers use Trellus for delivery?
On the website, there literally is a link for merchants. Sign up on Trellus. Or if you want to have a rep, we have 3 people we hired in Sonoma County to come to your store and walk you through the process. You can do that. It's very easy. If you want to buy something, you literally put your address in. All the stores come up hyper locally. You click, add to your cart, whether it's small, medium, or large, or you just want to add a tip or whatever it is. 2 clicks, it shows up at your doorstep. A ticket is generated for the merchant immediately, and a driver is summoned as soon as the business accepts it. And for drivers, if you want a few extra bucks as a side hustle, you can sign up as a driver on the platform also.
But they got to get the app first, correct? It's not just a web-based platform. You got to go to that app store and download the app, which some people don't always remember is the thing to do these days.
We launched the app first, and we have an app for Android and for Apple iOS, and we're also web-based. So if you want to shop on your phone, the app is Trellus Delivered, Trellus Delivered, and it'll come right up. Click, download, and put your address in and start shopping as we speak. Or you literally can go to the website, and it'll look just as good on your phone. If you don't want to download another app, you can just buy online, and
cool.
Magically it shows up.
Magically, the magic of consumer habits, right?
We're competing against literally trillion-dollar companies,
right?
And we're not. We're we're 23 employees. A lot of the co-founders have a lot of their own money in this. They really believe in it, and we have to make an experience that's comparable to what you're used to. And when you're on these major platforms, there's a lot of bells and whistles and things, and the experiences are what you've come to grow to know and are comfortable with. And if you go to our platform, it has a unique look, color coding, and everything else, but it will be as seamless and easy to use as anything else that you've ever used. So that took a lot. I mean, it looks so easy to click and buy and then you're done. The countless hours of our dev team to make that experience seamless has been extraordinary. And I didn't realize when I first got started how hard it was to create something that looks so easy to use.
Well, it sounds like you've really put a lot of thought and work in behind the user experience and the design. People are hopefully clicking left and right and using Trellus so far in Long Island and in Sonoma County. Listeners out there, if you haven't downloaded this app yet, either during our conversation or prior, go out there and find that app, click on that website, make sure to use Trellus. As we wrap up here, Adam, I just have a couple fun questions for you. I want to know, you gather a lot of data through all these purchases and through all these links. What are some of the surprising consumer habits that you've discovered through your work?
People like bread. There's this one guy, I met him at a farmer's market who bakes bread out of his garage. He turned his garage into a commercial kitchen. And by God, it's the greatest bread you've ever had in your life. And the merchants who are most successful on our platform have a link on their website that says Shop Trellus or get free delivery on Trellus, and the orders just literally come right in. So I was surprised. I thought clothing would be the easiest thing to get people to buy, and drivers the hardest. It's actually the reverse. Drivers are the easiest to join our platform, and clothing is one of the. Even though we have a lot of clothing, it's not one of the most consumed or purchased items on our platform.
That is interesting, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say the future of shopping locally is? Is it Trellus? Is it something bigger than Trellus, or is it really just the store-to-consumer connection?
There is no other platform like Trellus in America, and that's because everybody who signs up wants to go after the 342 million Americans and be national. So there's to have a location that's maybe a diameter of 20 miles from north to south and east to west, and have 100 stores in there is a lot harder than having 100 stores across the country.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's a huge barrier to entry for anybody who wants to compete with us, because we've done the groundwork. I mean, literally, I've gone into, and I don't like exaggerating, thousands of small businesses, heard their hopes and dreams and concerns, and really feel like we've built a better mousetrap, and we have a huge head start. No, Amazon and Walmart can't do this because Walmart went into every small town across America and put them out of business, and Amazon's crushing them even doubly as hard. So when Amazon says, oh, shop at these small businesses, it's disingenuous. So we love what we're doing, and we think that we are on the right track to something special.
Well, it sounds like you have such a great background in building these networks and building these communities. As somebody myself, we've talked about this. I am an entrepreneur myself. Do you have any advice for aspiring entrepreneurs? Is it really just about that heart-to-heart connection? What would you say people who might be looking to start their own business someday, what would you say go ahead and do first?
I think you need to go out and interview 50 of your closest customers or people who might be your consumers to figure out what they want. They'll tell you what they want. If you give them what you think they want, you're going to waste a lot of time. We made that mistake. But as far as building a business, there's two kinds of people: those who say they had a good idea, and those who actually try and put one into practice. It's not easy starting a podcast from scratch, so I admire that. Starting a business from scratch is equally as difficult, and you're going to make mistakes, but get your hands dirty, put the time in, and if you really do try your hardest, one day, many years from now, when you reflect on what you've done in your life, you'll know you gave it a shot versus, oh, I could have done this. And I think this is the most meaningful thing I've ever done. And starting a business that you truly care about, that fills a need and helps people, is gratifying. And I love sharing this with other people. I actually mentor a lot of people. So if you want, please share my contact info. I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody. I actually met somebody on LinkedIn who's in Napa, who sells candles, who, I've been like a consigliere, and she can't wait till I come to Napa because she wants to sell her candles on Trellus.
Well, you certainly sound like a true people person and love sharing your expertise and background with everybody. As we wrap up here, Adam, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing the word and the power of Trellus with This Must Be the Place with our listeners. And again, to our listeners out there, if you're doing your holiday shopping and just can't be bothered to get out of the house, you're pressed for time, go ahead and click that app, go to that website, use Trellus to your advantage this holiday season. Adam, you're open for business on Christmas Eve and maybe Christmas Day, correct?
If you buy on Christmas Day, it will be delivered on the 26th. But the only day we're not open to deliver is on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So we're 364 days a year.
Well, it's good to take a couple of days off, and plus nobody's looking for anything but consumables on Christmas Day. So if you burn your turkey or your ham, you're going to have to look somewhere else. But for every other need out there, check out Trellus. You won't regret it. I've looked at the app, and I just think it's a fantastic idea and resource for the folks of Sonoma County. So again, Adam, thank you so much for appearing on our podcast, and I'll catch you soon.
Allo, thank you so much. I enjoyed the conversation.
Take care. The interviews are done, which means I think it's time to crack one open. Interviews make me thirsty, and I want you thirsting for knowledge about some great beer, both local and not so local. Each week, I'll introduce you to a beer I find discussion-worthy and explain the nuances of what makes it fantastic in my eyes and why you should give it a try. And just to keep it on point, I'll even try to make sure the beer reflects the vibe or theme of the episode. There's only one thing left to do now that I'm waiting for my first purchase from the Trellus app to be delivered, and something I'm sure all of you listeners are looking to do after the holiday shopping rush, and that is unwind. This busy time of year, there's often the stressed feeling of needing to do it all, and it just so happens that Cuver Brewing out of Windsor, who I featured a few months back in one of our very first Crack One Open segments, offers a series of beers that are called Unwind that come with a twist, a cocktail twist, in fact. I'm sitting here sipping on their Unwind Bellini. This is their take on a Bellini cocktail with bright notes of peach shining through the base beer, which is the Belgian witbier. Witbiers are known for their citrus notes and high carbonation, which make them the perfect style to experiment adding cocktail-like twists to. This is the third in the Unwind series, with a mojito and pina colada flavor preceding this one. The best thing about this, other than the flavor, the 4.4% alcohol content. It's just the right easygoing beer to kick back with, and a nice coincidence, you can have it delivered by Trellus. Cuver Brewing has signed up to have their products on the app, and so if you too would like to unwind this holiday season, whether you're kicking back or heading out to a holiday gathering, I think it's the perfect beer series to be bringing to your upcoming holiday parties, especially if there are folks who might not be beer lovers, but perhaps this cocktail-style wit beer can change their minds. A big thanks to Adam for appearing with us on this week's episode and encouraging everyone to use Trellus as an alternative to crowded shopping plazas. A reminder that we have a great contest going on our Instagram right now. Follow us at pod_locally, where you can enter to win 2 tickets to Chanticleer's Christmas concert in Petaluma at the St. Vincent de Paul Church this Thursday the 18th at 7:30 p.m. The contest ends Tuesday, so make sure to head to our page, give us a follow, and enter to win. This Must Be the Place is produced by our friends at Pod Locally, an audio platform helping local voices connect to their communities. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment on all your favorite podcast apps, and visit the show notes for more information, links, and resources. Look out for our next drop on Sunday. Until then, I'm your host, Allo Gilinsky, saying have a great week.